We were told numerous times during the campaign that Hussein Obama would restore America's status as a country that doesn't torture, that doesn't hold people without trial, and doesn't violate international law that liberals hold so dear. Once again, we have a case where after the election it seems circumstances have changed and Hussein Obama's cohorts sound a lot like the Bush administration on the war on terror. Demonstrating this, we have Harvard Law Dean Elena Kagan. President Obama's choice to represent his administration before the Supreme Court, told a key Republican senator Tuesday that she believed, this was some weeks ago though, told a key Republican senator Tuesday that she believed the government could hold suspected terrorists without trial as war prisoners. She echoed comments by Attorney General Eric Holder during his confirmation hearing last month. Both agreed that the United States was at war with al-Qaeda and suggested the law of war allows the government to capture and hold alleged terrorists without charges. Obama was going to end that. Looks like we're going to continue the same failed policies of the last 8 years. And again, during her confirmation hearing last week, Elena Kagan, the nominee for Solicitor General, said that someone suspected of helping finance al-Qaeda should be subject to battlefield law, indefinite detention without a trial, even if he were captured in a place like the Philippines rather than in a physical battle zone. Ms. Kagan's support for an elastic interpretation of the battlefield amplified remarks that Attorney General Eric Holder made at his own confirmation hearing, and it dovetailed with a core Bush position. Civil liberties groups argue that people captured away from the combat zone should go to prison only after trials. Moreover, the nominee for CIA Director Leon Panetta opened a loophole in Obama's interrogation restrictions. At this hearing, Panetta said that if the approved techniques were not sufficient to get a detainee to divulge details he was suspected of knowing about an imminent attack, he would ask for additional authority. But Mr. Panetta also said the CIA might continue its extraordinary rendition program under which agents seize terrorism suspects and take them to other countries without extradition proceedings in a more sweeping form than anticipated. Well, do I smell hypocrisy? I think we do. In a 2002 interview with Paul Azan, Fish Face Holder said terrorist detainees are not covered under the Geneva Convention. Well, there you go. Hussein Obama's nominee for Attorney General Eric Holder admitted during his Senate Judiciary Committee confirmation hearing that he supported renewing the part of the Patriot Act that allows for the FBI to seek records from businesses, libraries, and bookstores as a policing agency investigates suspects in this country. And we have him also, Holder, in typical liberal Democrat fashion, talks out of both sides of his mouth on this issue too. He did during his confirmation hearings in exchange with Senator Hatch and speeches he'd made in the past. Here's what he said: "I never thought I would see a president," speaking of Bush, "would act in direct defiance of federal law by authorizing warrantless NSA surveillance on American citizens," Holder said, referring to the NSA program. "This disrespect for the law is not only wrong, it is destructive in our struggle against terrorism." And then to Hatch, Fishface said this at his confirmation hearings: "Well, the president obviously has powers under the Constitution that cannot be infringed by the legislative branch. That's what I was saying earlier. There are powers that the president has delegated to him that he has, and Congress does not have the ability to say with regard to those powers, you cannot exercise them. There's always a tension in trying to decide where that balance is struck." Well, evidently when Bush is president, the balance goes one way. When Obama's president, well, we get some leeway. Getting back to what he said, and I think we can see the best result when we see Congress interacting with the president. You mean like in 2002 when Pelosi et al. Were briefed on waterboarding and they said nothing about it? Is that what you're talking about, Mr. Holder? I think we can see the best result when we see Congress interacting with the president, the executive branch interacting with the legislative branch, and coming up with solutions. There are certain things that a president has the constitutional right, authority to do that the legislative branch cannot impinge upon. So, ladies and gentlemen, what was not okay for Bush now seems to be okay for Obama, but we don't see the mainstream media trumpeting this. We don't see them on the masthead, of the evening news and days of coverage, is the Hussein Obama administration torturing American citizens? Are they spying on you? Are they reading your emails? Only Dick Cheney does that. So, and of course many liberals don't know this because all they read is Daily Kos, 10 minutes of the nightly news, maybe the Atlanta Urinal Constipation, something like that. But we have a blatant case of hypocrisy here. And I doubt if the antique media ever picks up on it. They know about it, they're just not going to report it. They don't report the news, we will.